Hi guys, we're back. It's Jamia.
It's Jacoby.
So we're gonna film our love story. We filmed our Q&A, but I thought, why don't we go ahead and just get our love story out the way, and then we'll, have all of these videos done. When this get posted, I don't know yet, but
stay tuned. It will get posted.
But okay, so I'm gonna tell well,
So
you could just butt in whenever you want.
I will.
So we met on Facebook dating, period, point blank. That just is what it is.
Straightforward.
And I had talked to people on dating apps, but they never, all of it was a dud. So I'm like, I got this guy texting me, and I don't even know if it's genuine, because everybody else was not genuine. So it's
very
like,
much genuine.
Nobody said it wasn't genuine. I'm just saying that from the beginning, I did not know that. I couldn't tell that when we first met. Nobody knows. You didn't know if I was genuine. So I was like, okay. But he was so persistent, y'all. When I say he was persistent, I mean persistent. Like,
I was texting and calling her all the time.
And then I was working third shift, so I'm like, he was calling me, but I was busy. And he was like, you playing games with me? You ain't trying to talk to me. And I was laughing, y'all. I was sleepy. Delirium had set in at that point. When I get delirious, I go to laughing and all that. And he was like, you laughing at me? It ain't funny.
When she started laughing, like, that made me even more hood, because I'm like, I'm really trying to do this with you when you want to play. Like, I felt like she was playing with me.
It wasn't that I was playing. I was just like, So then he like, you gonna be my girlfriend. And I'm like, how do you know this, that I'm gonna be your girlfriend when we don't know each other. We don't know nothing about each other. We don't know nothing about our backgrounds or whatever. But he was real cocky.
Very much. The reason why I was cocky, because I knew who I had was going to be a keeper, and that was going to be mine. So I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, clamp.
But this is the thing that I was trying to explain to him. The last, situation I was in, we moved real fast like that, and it ended up awful. So he wasn't necessarily seeing my point of, okay, it's not that I'm not trying to be with you or that I don't want to try to give you a chance. It's just, let's take our time and get to know each other before we just jump in real deep. He wasn't hearing none of that.
Because I felt like once we do get together, we can do all those things. Me not knowing what the title was, it drove me nuts. Because it's like, what if somebody else come in and, you know what I'm saying, take my spot? So I had to do what I had to do.
And then that's another thing. I was like, just because I'm not saying yes, or I'm not, that don't mean that I'm going to be entertaining a whole bunch of other people. That's not how I roll. But he was under the impression I was like everybody else. I was under the impression he was like everybody else. So eventually I came around. I had a block up at first, but I came around. It just took me.
It took a long time.
It did not take that long.
It took what, baby?
It did take a couple months.
I fight hard for those couple months.
And then, like, we got together. Like, this stuff is within weeks. So, like, 2 weeks, we together. We in a relationship. By the third, fourth week, we meeting each other in person. And, like, I'm like, okay. you know these movies that be happening where these women, they get, like, it be a setup. And so I was like, okay, I don't know. But it turned out to be great. So fast forward, I broke up with him for about 2 weeks.
The worst 2 weeks of my life.
I broke up with
was
him.
on her phone. Oh,
I broke up with him for 2 weeks. And the reason I broke up with him, it was so stupid. Like, but me being me, I was running.
she was trying to kick me to the curb.
I ran. So
She
we
ran.
broke up. We broke up for 2 weeks. He blowed me up. I'm not having
Constantly.
it. I'm not having it. I'm not responding. I'm not doing none of that. So after them 2 weeks, he said, you mine, you need to come on around, stop playing, whatever. So
Trying to tell you.
we got back together and we got on the right track. And then I met his mom, because I would always go down there and I wouldn't go in.
At all.
Because this the thing though, y'all. You don't want to jump in too quick. That's what I was telling him. Like, I don't want to meet your family yet. So eventually I did meet his mom though. His mom and his brother. And it was like, what, 3 months later, 3 or 4 months later,
Mm-hmm.
and he met my parents.
We was going to an Auburn A-Day.
A-Day game. Mm-hmm. Y'all, that game,
It was very, very funny.
it was too much. It was a good game.
It was.
It was a good game.
Them steps. Ooh.
But y'all, my mama got us nosebleed seats.
The worst seats in the world.
Like, we had to go up and up and up and up and
If you go to the
up.
concession stand, you might as well just go for everybody, because them steps it's ridiculous.
Y'all, my dad said, he put his arm up on the thing. He said, woo, I ain't going no more. Forget it. But we had booked the room and everything, paid for these tickets. So it's like, we gotta go. We coming to this game.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the game or whatever. Everything was good. We all bonded. Mind you, he's not an Auburn fan. That's how I knew he loved me, because he is not no Auburn fan. He is a diehard Alabama fan, and I'm a diehard Auburn fan. But
When you with somebody that's
you love,
on the other side, and you love, it's on the other side of the rivalry, it's different.
but you do a lot of things for the people you love.
Exactly.
So, met my parents, and then, y'all, my mama is old school, so it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the humble beginning part. I might as well. So, we made the decision. We was like, what, 10 months in? 10 months in, we made a decision. We was like, we gonna move in together. He had got a good job offer up here where I live. Okay, so let me break it down. He lived in Fairfield, Alabama. It's basically Birmingham, but you know.
Yeah.
So he lived in Fairfield. I live in Fort Payne, Alabama. Fort Payne and Fairfield is about an hour and a half away from each other. So we came down to the decision. We had to say, okay, am I going to live down there with you, or are you going to live up here with me?
And as a man, I had to make that sacrifice.
Yes.
To, start my new beginning, start my new adventure.
Yes. So he decided to move here with me in Fort Payne. So, y'all, we got approved for an apartment, but we could not move in until December the 1st. This was toward the end of October. We got together in January. in January. The end of October, we applied for the apartment. We got approved. Then we had to have the first month's rent and a deposit. So what were we to do? Like, we didn't have no money for real, put back or nothing. I was traveling, doing the travel CNA, but I still had to pay bills at my mom's house while I was living there. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. So we made a decision. We said we want to be together. He was ready to leave from Fairfield. So,
and she was ready for me to leave too.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it like that.
Man, funny.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying though, like, he was ready to just, start his new beginning, period. He was ready to go. So my mama did not play. She don't do the shacking up. Mind y'all, my dad is a deacon of the church. It ain't gonna be none of that. So we had to come up with a solution. Y'all, we had to stay in a cheap hotel. For how long? A month and a half?
Probably 2.
Almost 2 months, y'all. And it was my mama's house, her rules. She paid the bills there. So I can't, I can't be mad at her or whatever. So it was rough, y'all. It was rough. When I say it was rough,
I came down here with nothing.
It was rough. So eventually December rolled around. But let me say this. My mama did help us out with the hotel. She paid for the hotel some days when we didn't have the money. She helped. So I can't, I'm not dissing my mama. I would never do that. I would never diss my mama on no nationwide platform like that. So don't take that and run with it. But it's just her rules. If we wasn't married, we couldn't live there. And that's just is what it is.
Yeah, and I understood that. I agreed to it.
So,
but it's like it was certain times of the time I'm like, well, we can sleep here, but we can't sleep in the same bed. I could have slept in the recliner. She could have slept in her room.
Yeah.
But I felt like they weren't gonna let that go. They weren't gonna let her do that. So like, it's respect, and I can respect that. So.
Yeah. So so eventually, December rolled around, and we got this apartment that we in right now. We got, we finally got in here. So everything was going good. He had his job. So we was doing good. Like, everything was good. And January rolled around. He had wanted to get married at like 6 months in the relationship, but I was like, no.
I was ready to quit everything. All the shenanigans, all
I was like,
player ways. Like, I was ready to throw it all away. Like, I was ready. Like, I was ready then.
I was not. Like, I wanted that, but I just didn't feel like, I was like, no. But any two people, they're never ready for marriage, because when you become one, you grow together.
And we grow together. Seriously.
January hit. You want me to be real about everything, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, January hit, and that good job that he had, he lost it. He lost his good job. So
everything back on wife.
Everything was on me.
And I was jobless for like 2-3 months.
Yes. But 5 days before that happened, no, the week before, he asked me to marry him.
I lost my job.
And then that next week we was married. We got married that weekend. We was married. I was like, I don't need no big wedding, you know. He asked the important people to come. Some of them couldn't make it. We don't hold that against them. They just couldn't get off work. I mean, it is what it is. His mom was there. His best friend was there. His brother. That's his brother. And then my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, they was there. That's all that was there. We had a private ceremony at a church.
And what really made us upset after is when we got married and posted all over social media, her folks started talking crazy to my wife about why they wasn't invited.
But a lot of people, we came to the conclusion we was going to be married and then we was going to have a reception. That's what I had always wanted. He didn't want that. He wanted a big wedding. But I didn't care. I don't care. Long as we married, it's on paper, we together, I don't care. We can have a big wedding, but I just didn't necessarily. I feel like it's just stressful because you have all this crap you got to do. You got all this money you got to spend. You can just have a party and go about your business. But anyways, we got off topic. So 5 days after we got married, he lost his job. And they was so... The thing about that place is they like to... I ain't saying their name on here, but they like to get their production up and running. And after they use all the extra people that they hired, they fire them. So that's how that went. And he couldn't find a job for about 2 months. So we had this humble beginning soon as right before we moved in together. And now we hit with something else. So it's like, dang, what is we doing wrong? So eventually he got another job. He got another job. After them 2 or 3 months, he had got him something else. Y'all, what? You was there, what, 4.5 months?
Mm-hmm.
4.5 months, y'all. They fired him. And he like, what did I do wrong? Even like people that we know said he was doing his job. You know, he wasn't doing wrong. He was doing everything he needed to do. So I was like, here's another time. Everything is on me. But I'm not. I signed up for better or for worse.
I'm over here going into the depression real bad. I'm doing everything they ask me. I'm staying over. I'm doing woo-to-woo. But like, let go. Like, all them times that I lost my job and had to depend on my wife, even though I felt like a little boy, but it's like I shouldn't feel like that because this is my wife, and for better or for worse. But it's like I felt less of a man not having a job, not doing my part to provide for us as the man of the house. Like, I just felt hopeless, helpless. Like I couldn't figure out why they kept letting me go. They just kept letting me go. Like, I got to a point where I'm just not even all the way there. Like, not all the way thinking. Just depressed, just down. Like, my wife will tell me it's all gonna be okay, but me knowing it's a lot of stuff on her, like, that's not a good feeling to have. Like, it's some nights where she don't even know I'm over here crying tears that I ain't got no job. I wake up in this house, she going to work. I'm not going out the door neither. It's plenty of times where I lost my cool and just, just balled up and just cried. Like, it's just had to. Like, I ain't had, like, I ain't had nothing. I had no income coming in, nothing. So, yeah.
And our rent is, I'm not going to say what it is, but it's pretty steep, which these apartments, they nice or whatever. I'm not knocking that. I'm not dogging our apartments or none of that. But So it's like one check, I gotta pay for the rent. And then the next check, I gotta try to come up with all this other stuff. So it was hard, but I never faulted him for that. That's one thing. I never said, this is your fault. You know, we in this situation. I just said, everything is gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it or whatever. And we did. Now, it was some times where we almost didn't have this.
Yeah.
But we made it through. That's why I know we was meant to be together, period. So our love story ain't been, you know, peaches and cream. I mean, that's what everybody thinks, but it ain't been peaches and cream, you know. But that's all y'all get. Like, I don't go no further than that. But so fast forward, it was about August, September.
Mm-hmm.
And
right before your birthday.
He got a job offer. And it wasn't a lot, like they don't pay a lot, but he was like, you know, it's a job, so I'ma take it or whatever. And it was what he was doing before he came. I'm not saying nothing about what he do or whatever, but it was what he was doing before he moved up here. So, and it was more his pace, like more his speed, something he could tolerate. Because he's got, I don't know if you want me to say that.
You can go ahead.
Well, he's got diabetes, so, you know, some days he's tired, he don't feel like it or whatever. And that job, you get downtime, etc., etc. So, yeah, so he finally, he found something his speed, and he been there ever since, by the grace of God. Thank God for it. And we've been good. We have our days, y'all, where we just, it be some of the craziest stuff that we sit up and fuss about. And then when we get done fussing, we just be looking at each other like, did it really even have to go that far? Like, did we really even have to do that? But with your partner, I tell you, communication is key.
Key, big key.
Key. It ain't the only thing, but it's key.
It's the most important thing.
Communication and comprehension. Like, you understand what the other person is saying. Because it be so many times where I don't understand what he's saying. Then I'd be like, well, that ain't what you said, whatever. And he'd be like, that is what I said. I just didn't say it in that way. And vice versa. I be saying stuff, and he'd be like, you ain't say that. Y'all, when I say in these past 2 years, we have came a long way. I mean, we have came a long way as one. Like, I was so independent. When we first got together, I was like, I don't want nobody doing that for me. So and so.
I had to just do it.
And now I'm so soft. Like, I'm so feminine now. I'm way more feminine than I've ever been in my life. So that's our love story. Yeah. We met on social media. We was together. I mean, things was fast. 11 months in, we moved in together, we married. Then, yeah. So that's our love story. Yeah. And we hope that we can encourage somebody. Look, you don't have to take all the time you need. You don't have to take all the time, or you can take all the time you need. It's all how you and the other person feel about one another. Mm-hmm. So, and we're thriving. So, don't ever let nobody stop you from being with the one you love. Thanks. And we'll see y'all in the next video.